Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about clear symptoms that you are ascending, that you are raising your energy to a greater level of consciousness. So many times I'm receiving messages about people who are kinda confused. Sometimes we go through a certain awakening and we are not really sure what is happening. We feel a sense of freedom and we don't know what is wrong. Or sometimes, people are giving us different concepts about all possible things and we kinda can't attach ourselves to those concepts. We feel like there's a greater sense of freedom without them, or beyond them, or behind them, whatever. So many times we can't explain what is happening to us, and some people think like there's maybe something wrong. So because we are living in truly interesting times, it's great if we have a certain guidance when it comes to our energetic sensation or our inner senses, So most people are sensing their lives by their five senses, but we all know that we are much more than that. Even if we go into quantum physics, we will soon find out that all the matter is actually just an expression of energy, just a manifestation of energy. And when it comes to energy, we can sense the energy, we can read the energy, we can form the energy. And I truly believe that our main purpose here on Earth is to learn to manipulate that energy, learn to manifest, learn to express your creative self. So often we're talking about that on my channel. And today I want to bring you some symptoms that you can sense in your life that you're going through that awakening, that your energy is ascending. So what it means? It means that your vital life force is rising. You feel more connected with yourself, you feel more creative, you feel more alive, you feel more uniqueness within you. And we'll be talking about all of that. So the first symptom or sign is that you feel a sense of being changed. It can be a certain experience that happened, it can be something that happened during a meditation, it can be a dream, or maybe you can't even explain when or how things happened, but you feel a sense of being changed if you look into your past. And when we are talking about being changed, right now we are talking about the positive, like being changed in a positive direction. Like you sense more joy in your life, you sense like everything is moving with a certain ease, like you're not forcing things so much anymore. Like you feel that everything is actually working for you, or you feel like there's a force which is supporting your path. As yesterday we've been talking about how important it is to have clear idea what you want to do in your life. Most people don't even know what they want to do in their life. So I'm saying to you, always know exactly what you want. If we don't know what we want, we are like, for one day we will be going in one direction, then we will choose the direction, then we will want a little bit of that and a little bit of this, and then we will ask like, why nothing is changing in our lives. So a great sense of being changed can also be felt when we're thinking about what we want. If you know exactly what you want in your life, it means that you're ascending. So feeling that great sense of being changed at any level in a positive direction, it means that you're ascending. So the magic is always in details, right? The magic is always in details. So it doesn't mean that if you're not seeing, something mystical during your meditations, that you are not doing the work, like you're meditating wrongly or whatever. Sometimes people think that way. Find magic in simplicity, my friends. If you can be more present if you're measuring the quality of your day in being present, how long you've stayed present, that's actually a huge sign that you are becoming more awakened. So the second symptom that we will be talking about is feeling a natural feeling of peace. What it means? It means that we are not stressed out so much anymore. Because we know that there's a greater purpose behind everything. We know that everything is happening the way it needs to happen in order to trigger certain pressure within each individual, so each individual can use it as a sign for awakening. So everyone can explain it a little bit differently, but as soon as we understand that life works that way, that energy actually works that way, if we are not walking towards a greater understanding of ourselves, of life, of meaning of life or whatever, there will be certain triggers around us which will most probably trigger certain pressure, certain pain, certain fear within us. So we will pay more attention to it, so we will start dealing with it. That's why often when it comes to awakening, people go through the dark night of the soul. The only meaning of being at the dark night of the soul, which usually we could explain as the worst possible moment in our lives, the only meaning behind it is to awaken our greater potentials, to finally stop distracting yourself with all possible meaningless things and pay more attention to you. Pay more attention to you and work with what you have, because you can't even visualize what is waiting you in the future, because it's so big, it's so amazing. So pay more attention to yourself. So if you're feeling a natural feeling of peace, sometimes it can happen spontaneously. Maybe you're walking through the forest and you just feel at peace with yourself. It means that you're ascending, my friends. So when you will feel a feeling of peace, maybe you're feeling it right now, maybe you can sense the energy which I'm sending to you. Let's just celebrate that feeling, because it's a beautiful feeling. Having that inner peace, it's a truly beautiful feeling. That's the moment where we just feel grateful to be alive. We just feel grateful that we can have this experience, that we can learn, that we can evolve, that we can create, that we can just be and enjoy beingness, right? Just celebrate that. The third sign is that you feel a sense of detachment from a local self or any kind of limitation of the body. So this one is really interesting for me, because when I went through my awakening, I started to feel like I'm more than just my body. Many times I remember at the beginning I was walking through the city and I felt like I'm coming here out of space, observing how the humanity is going on. I mean, how the humanity is what's happening, you know. I felt like I'm out of space. Even though I was walking there physically, I felt like I'm all over the place. And not like in a stressful way, but I felt the oneness with everything. So it happened to me spontaneously, but now I can awaken this feeling anytime. If I'm at peace with myself, I can awaken this feeling. I can go outside for a walk, and that whole, just the walking can be a meditation for me. I can feel oneness with the nature around me and things like that. So if you sense that kind of detachment from any kind of physical limitation, it doesn't mean that you need to levitate or that you need to walk through walls or something like that. Just feeling that you're not actually limited by the circumstances. Just feeling that, just sensing that you're not limited by your fears. You can still sense the fears. I sense my fears. I sense anger sometimes. I sense sadness sometimes. But I don't feel limited by it. I know that I can overcome it. And I will feel it until I will overcome it. So just that sense of awareness. That's usually what happens when we expand our consciousness, we expand our awareness, and we become more aware of our unconscious self, the parts of ourselves which have been unconscious before. So if you sense that your fears and any kind of negative emotion is not limiting you anymore, it means that you are giving a birth to the freedom, my friends. You are getting free. You are freeing yourself from the false limitations. So congratulations for that. If you feel that, it means that you are ascending, your energy is rising, you are becoming more conscious, more self-aware, and most probably more creative. So not many people realize when we expand our consciousness, we become more creative. It's the byproduct. So many people feel like they have more energy and they don't know what to do with it. It's the creative energy. It's within you, so you would express it. And as soon as we start expressing that creative energy, universe will start giving you ideas, inspiration, because now you've opened the channel. Now you've opened the channel and your job is now to express what is coming to you. Like you've been the chosen one now to express those ideas. So pay attention to it. If it is happening to you, it's really important right now to understand that. If it is happening to you, just express it. Even if you don't know the skill. Sometimes people are asking me like, I have visions. During meditations, I have visions for pictures. Could you paint it? And I like to say them, paint it for yourself. If you're seeing the visions, they came to you for a reason. You don't see those visions so I would paint them, they came to you. That was the reason why I started painting. I started seeing different pictures, different visions. So my mission was learn to paint, and I've learned to paint, and now I'm doing what I'm doing. So, every time when something like that happened to you, it happened to you for a reason. And just pay more attention to it. You will see the magic that will start happening. So, what we also need to understand when it comes to that awakening, we still need to put things into action. Nothing will happen by itself if you're not doing the work. So whatever you're receiving, ideas, inspiration, visions, voices, whatever it can be, like everyone can experience those downloads uniquely. If you will not do anything with it, you will close the channel and your energy will fall down a little bit because your higher self will say to you like, you're not prepared yet, you're not ready yet. And you will go again through certain processes, certain triggers, until you will finally decide, well, I'm ready to work on that. And sometimes it's not an easy job because we still go through those analytical limitations where we need to overcome certain beliefs. Like the story that I was sharing to you when my mother said to me that it's not possible to make a living out of art. That belief was presented to me, so I could decide, will I believe that, will I surrender myself to that belief, or am I ready to take the challenge and overcome it? And that's what is happening when we are presented or when we experience certain limitations like that. Your higher self already knows what's the best path for you. And usually it is guiding you into the best possible direction. But if you're saying no, if you're like being lazy, if you're postponing and not taking action, you will close that channel and you will fall back into your old path. So always when you're experiencing those kind of downloads, any kind of inspiration, truly pay attention to it, because there's something special in it. The next symptom is the random experience of oneness. That's what I was talking before when I said that I was walking through the city and I've spontaneously experienced a oneness. So often it can happen like that. Sometimes when we are in the nature, we just observe the beauty around us. We see a bird, we see some squirrels, or a frog, or a cat, or a dog, and a bunch of trees, and you see all the root system, and suddenly you just feel like everything is moving with you, or like you are moving with it. And so interesting thing happened with animals, for example. As soon as you experience that oneness, any kind of animal can't sense the fear anymore from you. And sometimes in the forest it can happen like you see like a random animal and it's not afraid of you anymore. And you just feel like that internal peace and blissfulness. You just feel completely connected with life. So if it is happening to you, you are ascending. You're raising your energy. And actually, you're being like paid off for your consistent work on yourself, for consistent detachment from the system and false concepts and ideas and perceptions and limitations which are not serving our growth. And when I say detachment from the system, it doesn't mean that you need to run away from everything which is reminding you of the system. It just means that we detach ourselves from the limitations and ideas which are not serving us. So anything which is limiting us, we try to find another way, a better way, a way which is more meaningful, which is providing us a greater experience of joy, a greater experience of happiness and that internal peace. So the last symptom that I will add here is that during your meditations or during your dreams, usually it happens during dreams, because while we are dreaming, our soul is traveling all around, and sometimes we can remember glimpses of that traveling, and sometimes we don't. But if we train ourselves, we can train to remember more of our dreams. So if you're meeting in your dreams or in your meditations, we can call it symbolic beings. Those can be different light beings, any kind of light beings. It means that you're raising your energy and your vibration is now like stepping into the higher dimensions, and once again you've created that contact with the beings from higher dimensions. And sometimes it can happen when we start meditating, or sometimes it happens to people when they are dealing with certain diseases. Sometimes I receive messages from people which met a certain being and they received a gift from that being. And as soon as they received a certain gift, sometimes it's really symbolic gift, sometimes it's a crystal, not a physical one, it's all happening in the mind's eye. But many times I see that is always repeating. Like many times people receive a certain gift from that being, and at the moment where they receive that gift, they experience a complete feeling of love. And for many people it happened that as soon as they received it, they've been healed. Or they've been healed from certain trauma, certain pain, certain fear. Or at least they've experienced such an incredible feeling of courage or trust that everything will work well, that when they wake up or when they come from out of meditation, they just feel a complete trust in the process. And they feel like they are supported from like higher power, or however you want to explain it. So if it happened to you, it means that you're ascending, you're getting onto that higher level of beingness. And those things can become random. Those things can become something normal. So do not think that you're weird if anything like that is happening to you. Of course, it's weird for the society, for like we would call for normal people. But what is normal? So research that. You know, we can find many great books about it. We can find many great videos which are talking about it. And what I found out is that every time when I'm curious about something, I set the intention. I say like I want to find the information about it. And usually I come across a book, or I come across a certain interview or a certain podcast or whatever it is, which bring me the exact information which I wanted to know. So if you're curious more about what is happening, just set the intention. So I hope this video can be helpful for your path of transformation, of becoming more and more and more of the real you behind all those labels and layers of identity, the true self, which is always present within you. When we let go of the false ideas, false concepts, false perceptions, we become the true self. And the whole process of meditation and different practices through different traditions is teaching us to get back to that true self. So I'm sending you all the love, my friends, blessings and power. Let's celebrate this wonderful life, and I hope you've enjoyed today's painting. Have a beautiful day, my friends, and see you in the next one. One love.